Hey guys, welcome back. It is day 42 with Judah, and sorry I haven't recorded a video in a while. It has been crazy and has been raining a lot here in Texas. So I start the video with taking him over the bridge and the walkway. I have a walkway around my house, and so we've been practicing going over it and around it and walking down it, and he enjoys this because occasionally he gets to nibble on some grass. Like there. And so I've been sending him over the obstacles as well and then back through. So he's going through the carport, over rubber mats, over the bridge. It's very good. And now we're gonna head down the walkway. So the next part of the video is him jogging with the golf cart, and he jogs in hand really well. He's got a beautiful cadence. And so we move on to the round pin, and I've been doing a lot of whip desensitizing with him, swinging the whip over his head, cracking the whip at his side, wrapping it around his legs, spinning it over his head, all kinds of things to desensitize him to what is needed so that he can be a safe riding horse. And so now we move on to moving over the tarp, back and forth over the tarp, over the poles. Just all these exercises are to get him more confident. Judah is actually, I could tell that he is pretty low in the pecking order, and he probably was bullied by the other horses a lot, so he doesn't have a lot of confidence. But you can see in the videos compared to the other videos that he's definitely getting more confident, more comfortable with his environment and all the things that I'm asking him to do. So now I'm desensitizing him with a pink flag that I made. It had a flag on the end that I purchased, but it did not survive previous desensitizing sessions. So this is kind of like a streamer flag. It's got a lot of busy movements. It wrestles and picks up in the wind really easily, makes a lot of noise. And so he's handling this really well over his head, on his body. And if you remember from previous videos, they move these horses with flags and bags on sticks, and so they are terrified of them. So this is just a shredded up garbage bag on a stick, and I'm moving it over his head, down his back, down his legs, waving it around, just moving in his presence, just getting him more comfortable with this. And you can tell by Judah's body language that he's not as comfortable with this object, and so he will need more desensitizing until he's so bored with it that he goes to sleep. So I'm giving him a rest, and he licks and chews, and a little bit of petting, some reward. We're just gonna go take a little walkabout, and I'm just gonna desensitize the air around him and just get him more comfortable coming towards it. Alright, so the next part of this video, I am practicing taking on and off his halter and trying to teach him a cue to bring his head closer to me to get him just better at haltering in general. And so this is really good right here. He turns and comes to me and actually wants to be with me, which is really good for Judah because he is very standoffish. He really likes his own time and has not been very interested in me in the beginning, and it's just showing that the relationship is starting to be built upon, which is absolutely necessary if I'm going to ride him. And I apologize for the banging in the background. That is my dryer drying clothes. Add some good video ambiance, I guess. Maybe not. Anyways, back to the video. So now I'm working on his feet. I can pick up all 4 of his feet, his front legs pretty easily. Back legs are still a little bit sticky, so I'm working on just getting him to give the pressure with that rope on his front foot and getting him to take some steps towards me. A little bit of leading with his front legs. Judah just seems to be pawing because he realizes he gets a release of pressure when his foot is moved forward. He figures it out. And so now I'm working on his back foot, just getting him to pick it up and bring it towards me. That's good. His leg is moved towards me and it's nice and relaxed. It's just sitting there. See his mouth? He's licking and chewing. Judah's got a really good brain, and he really stops and thinks things through. Because of all the desensitizing work I've done with him, I've taken out a lot of that reaction and surprise. So it's pretty difficult to frighten him, which is really good because when I start riding him under saddle, I want him to be very level-headed and to think things through and to control his emotions. And so now we're just having a hangout session. I'm just petting him, just having a friendly time with him. Tell him how great he is, which he already knows. So this is a little bit of Judah's personality right there. He's just pretty laid back and chill and asks me the question, "Are you sure you want me to move? Because I'll go to sleep right here." He's a really good horse. I'm hoping that he'll find a really good home and make somebody very happy. So now we're going to practice standing tied, and I'm going to do some desensitizing with him while he is tied up. And that's good. So he sees me coming. He turns to look at me. He's more interested about scratching his leg than what I'm doing. It's very good. So I move on to the next object because I could tell that I'm not getting any kind of response from that. And I know from earlier that this shredded bag on a stick is a lot scarier and a lot noisier. So I'm getting a little bit more of a reaction from him. I'm not going to reach up and touch him with this because there's really no point in that. This is just representing any kind of stimulus that happens around him as he's tied up. I don't want him to set back. Alright, so I come back and get some fly spray because the flies are biting him, and I do not want him to be chewed up while he's standing tied. And so he fly sprays really well. He doesn't like the smell of it each time I use the fly spray. He does the phlegm in response, which I think is really funny. But he's unique. He's a unique little guy. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.